So during the previous presentations, we demonstrated how to create a script or how to create a batch file after creating an R toolkit. So I believe now if you have a text file, you can now create a batch file to help or to aid you in your investigation process. We went a step further and we also discussed on how one can actually create a disk image using FTK Imager. So now we're going to move a step further and I'm going to introduce to you a new tool or a new software that that is used by investigators to analyze data as well as to collect data. So this tool that we're going to be using is known as Autopsy. So I believe you have all installed Autopsy on your machines. So when we double click on the icon Autopsy, we're still waiting for it to open as well as to start the modules that we're going to be using during our data collection as well as data analysis. So as you can see, it has given us an option if you want to create a new case, if you want to open a recent case, or if you want to open a case. So in this particular case, we managed to create a case during our demonstration when we're demonstrating using when we're creating a disk image using FTK Imager. So I'm not going to open a new case, but instead I'm going to open a recent case. So when I click on open a recent case, it's actually showing me it will give me a list of all the cases that I have. In this particular case, I only have the forensic case that I opened on this particular date. So this is the case that we're going to be working on or working with. So if I click open, it's basically loading the files of the case. So as you can see, the name of the case is Executive Diploma Analysis and the case number is 001, as you can see. So if I double click on the case, it will show me what's the files on the case, the files on the case. It will also show me the views selection. On the view selection, we have file types, deleted files, as well as file size. So let's click on file type and see. Let's say, for instance, by extension, it will show me all the images that are within the case. Let's say, for instance, I'm investigating videos. If I click on videos, it will also show me the videos that are present. As you can see, the one denoted by we have these videos that are here. We can also look into at our databases This is the database that is being used, or that's on the case. So with Autopsy, there are lots of things that you can do, but it entirely depends on what you want or what you're investigating, or what you seek to find as an investigator. So you can also click on audios, and it will show you the audios that are there. If you click on properties, it will give you information with regards to the name of the file, the location, the modified time, the change time, access time, as well as the created time. Okay. Let's say, for instance, you also want to look at the documents. Maybe there's a document that you are actually looking for. You can click on documents, under file types by extension. You can click on documents. Then if it's a PDF, you can just double click on PDF, and it will give you a list of all the PDFs that are there. So as you can see, these are the PDFs that are present for a case. Sometimes you will discover that you might want to look for deleted files. On deleted files, you can view them via file system, or you can just view them, all of them at the same time. So let's just click on file system and see what we can find. So all these files are actually deleted. They are not on our file. But when you're using Autopsy, you can actually view all the deleted files. So let's say a perpetrator has done, or was instrumental on a particular incident. Then, as an investigator, you can use tools such as Autopsy to actually look at the deleted files on a case that you'll be working on. So these are some of the things that you can do when you're analyzing data of a particular case file, depending on what you are looking at. So on deleted files, you can actually view all the deleted files on the case. And if we scroll down, you can actually view all the deleted files. As you can see, we have music files, we have video files, we have PDFs, etc. So also, depending with the ingest modules that you would have selected, you can also perform what we call keyword searches. Let's say, for instance, you want to look for a keyword within the case files. Then you can easily go to extracted content, and then as you can see here, we have a section of keywords. So depending with what you're looking for, you can also do that. Then let's say, for instance, you're looking for email messages. You can as well go and click on email messages. If there are any email messages that are there on the particular image that you are analyzing, you can actually view them. If there are any items that are interesting, if you click on interested items, you can also view them. You can also go to accounts. Let's say, for instance, there are certain information with respect to the username and the password of a particular account. You can actually go to accounts. Autopsy also, you can actually view reports. or generate a report on autopsy. So, depending with the analysis that you're doing, you can have you can add multiple data sources. You can add multiple data sources to autopsy and investigate on whatever that you're going to be looking at. Another important tool or aspect of besides checking the case properties, besides adding a data source, deleting a case, closing a case, opening a case, you can also run what we call ingest modules. Ingest modules are very important in autopsy. Why? We mentioned the issue of keyword searches. Let's say, for instance, if we click on, we want to run ingest modules on the executive diploma analysis that we want to perform. So, while this is opening, as you can see, you can configure ingest modules. So, on ingest modules, depending on what you're looking at, you can select recent activity. If you want to see the recent activity, you can perform a hash lookup to see if to calculate the to calculate the checksums. You can perform a file type identification. You can make use of the EXIF parser. You can make use of the email parser, extension mismatch, E01 verifier. If you have any interesting files identifier, you can also view or use that. We also have what we call the photo rec cover. This is usually done against what do you call it? Against an allocated space in the data source. So as you can see, when you put your cursor on this ingest module, it will give you a hint of what that module actually does. So basically, the virtual machine extractor extracts virtual machine files and adds them to a particular case. We also have an Android analyzer that actually extracts Android system and third-party app data. So as you can see, depending with what you want to do, autopsy, you can actually configure and run ingest modules on your case to perform or to get or to obtain critical information that might be instrumental to an investigation. Let's say, for instance, we want to let's try and run an ingest module on, let's say, recent activity. On autopsy, let's say if we say recent activity, then we say click on finish. So as you can see, it's actually analyzing files from this executive diploma to see if there is any recent activity that has been done on that particular image. So let's just wait for it to finish such that we see what we have actually done. So autopsy. Let's say, for instance, as an organization, if you fail to buy licensed forensic tools such as NCAS or SafeBack or Celebrite, Autopsy can actually do a better job, or can actually assist an investigator in the process of data analysis. So, as you can see, there is a triangle with an exclamation mark, which actually shows that we have three ingest messages that we have. So, on recent activity, the first one is we have started the executive diploma analysis, and this is the timestamp. Basically, these messages also work or also help us, or sometimes they do act as an audit trail to actually show us what we have been, the recent activities that we have been doing. Alright, so we are now on 46%, and we are still waiting for the ingest module that we have selected to finish whatever it's doing. So let's just wait, let's just give it a little bit of time. It's still on 51%. Okay, so Autopsy can also give us a timeline on certain processes that would have been doing when we are analyzing files with it. So it's now on 51%. Let's see if I can if there is anything that's worth mentioning. Okay. So you can also add other plugins on Autopsy, like if there are certain things that you feel, or that you might feel that they are not there, or they are not pre-configured on the Autopsy, you can as well add some plugins to aid or to assist you in the investigation process. Alright, we're almost done. It's now on 86%. Okay. All right. All right. Since it has we now want to check and see if there is anything that is worth mentioning. Okay. All right. So we basically have 547 files with known types, 1381 files with general strings extracted. Metadata only was indexed on 259, and the other errors, we have no errors. So we're basically saying these ingest modules are very important, and it is imperative for you to familiarize yourselves with these ingest modules. Alright, basically these are some of the things that you can do with Autopsy when you are analyzing data from an image. Okay, thank you.